Imagine this, you're making a car racing game. The car accelerates, turns at high speed, brakes at the perfect moment. So the big question is this just game magic? Or is it all simple math working in the background? Today, I'm going to honestly explain how much math you really need to become a game developer. First, let's break a big myth. You don't need to be a math genius. You don't need to memorize 20 pages of calculus. In game development, math isn't about passing exams. It's about solving problems smartly. Alright, let's take a closer look at the 5 levels of math in game development. We'll break down how each level works, why it's important, and how understanding it can help you create better and more polished games. Level 1, Basic Math. In games, basic math operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division are used all the time. For instance, these operations help calculate a player's score after completing a level, reduce health when the player takes damage, multiply damage based on weapons or power-ups, and add coins or other rewards when objectives are completed. Basically, almost every mechanic in a game relies on these simple math calculations behind the scenes. Level 2, Vectors. If your character moves left and right, jumps, or chases enemies, you're using vector math. For example, the x-axis controls left and right, the y-axis controls up and down, and the z-axis controls depth in 3D. In simple terms, vectors are what help define direction and movement in your game world. Vectors are also what make bullets travel in the right direction, enemies follow paths realistically, and the camera moves smoothly to follow the action. Essentially, vector math is one of the core tools that brings motion and life to everything in your game. Level 3, Physics. If you're making a racing game with ramps, airtime, and gravity-based movement, you're using physics math like speed, acceleration, force, and momentum. That's what makes cars feel slippery, airtime feel heavy or floaty, and the gameplay feel realistic. Level 4, Probability. If your game has features like loot drops, critical hits, random rewards, or gacha and spin systems, then probability is working behind the scenes. When you set things like a 2% chance for a legendary item, a 15% critical hit rate, or rare reward drop chances, you're deciding how often players feel lucky or rewarded. This balance of probability is what ultimately decides whether your game feels exciting, fair, or slow and boring. Level 5, Statistics. If you want your game to feel just right, not too easy, not too hard, and want the rewards to feel fair, you'll need to use statistics and balancing math. This kind of math helps you control player progression, enemy strength, rewards, and overall difficulty. That's why even professional game developers rely on tools like Excel or Google Sheets to carefully tune the game economy, balance systems, and progression curves. By the way, I wasn't a math topper either. Math was never my strongest subject in school. But once I started making games, math stopped feeling like something you study in a textbook. It became a practical tool I actually needed. In game development, math isn't scary or boring. It's more like a superpower that helps you control movement, balance gameplay, and bring ideas to life. And the more you practice using math in real game projects, the sharper your thinking becomes naturally, without even realizing it. In my opinion, you don't need to become a math genius to make games. You don't have to solve complex equations or be perfect at math. What really matters is having strong basics, clear concepts, and regular practice applying math in real game scenarios. When you use math while actually building games, it starts making sense naturally and becomes much easier over time. So that's the whole idea behind math in game development, and now you probably understand that there's no reason to be afraid of math. The more you work on making games, the easier math will start to feel. Now if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to check out my Unity game devlogs here.